Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. Today, I've got the BQEYZ Wind for you as we get into bone conduction / PZT bonanza craziness happening. Pretty cool stuff. I've really had fun, a lot of fun. Revisiting older sets, trying new sets, comparing. It's been kind of an eye-opener, actually, to be quite honest with you. A while back, I made a post on Reddit sort of questioning the whole idea of bone conduction in IEMs because, well, they don't make contact with the bone, right? Cartilage, yes. Bone, no. Most bone conduction earphones or headsets that you see, they go behind the ear. They make contact with the mastoid bone, which is sort of creates a resonance chamber. But here's what I didn't know. In particular, PZT or piezoelectric drivers don't need to be in direct contact with a bone to work, because bone is a highly conductive material as far as piezoelectric currents go. I did not know that. Had to do some, Googling, some research, and found a couple of crazy discussions. One was somebody was trying to figure out if they could actually perch a speaker on their shoulder with a PZT driver in it and have it still work. I found that to be odd. But what I found out from it was that actually bone is a highly conductive material for PZT. So, in theory, that means that PZT is bone conduction. Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean that all bone conductions are PZT. In fact, no, they're not. Because in the case of the wind, it has a different configuration. It's not like a ceramic layered piezoelectric. It's a copper housed, high strength vibrating steel reed. Okay. So I'm guessing that there is a distinction between a bone conduction driver proper and PZT. However, it seems that they both kind of do the same thing. So, with all of that being said, and my sort of learning curve on this, I'm trying not to get too technical, but, it's kind of exciting when you learn new stuff, right? So I'm just sharing what I have sort of gleaned from this whole process so far. The BQEYZ Wind has a bone conduction driver in it, 10 millimeter, just like the dynamic driver that's in it, which is a dual cavity 10 millimeter PU. No, LCP. Sorry. Not a PU suspended LCP, just LCP. Okay? So there you go. One dynamic, one bone conduction. And with that, we'll just go right into the specs because, I started them, so let's finish them. Frequency response 5 hertz to 40 kilohertz. So there we go with the below and above hearing range, but that's okay because, again, could affect what you hear. The cable is, you'll see, a 2-pin 0.78 flush. You can get 2.5, 3.5, or 4.4 for your termination. It's not modular, but you get to choose, which is cool. Impedance 38 ohms, sensitivity 113 decibels, and as I said, 10 millimeter DD, 10 millimeter bone conduction. There you go. There's your specs. In the box, we'll do this really quick too. I don't know how I got the sleeve off that quickly this time because it was seemingly very stiff. Nope, it's not torn, thankfully. This set comes to us courtesy of Sporzable, who has just been given flair on Reddit and will be doing cable reviews there. I'm excited because honestly, it's something I'm very interested in. So I'm gonna, as they come up and he gives me the green light, I'll link them in descriptions on videos so you can check them out, or in the community. one way or the other. Speaking of which, you're going to see a cable here that does not come with this set, and I better get this back to him because he's probably going to want to review it. But this is Zinn's cable that's graphene and gorgeous, and does some pretty interesting things to different sets. But we'll set that over there for now, and I'll let him get into that. That's not my forte. You get a plethora of ear tips. So these are labeled as Atmosphere on the top. They're reference on the bottom. I did try both of them. I didn't notice a huge difference between the two, I have to be honest. I mostly use the JVC spiral dots now that I have medium large in my arsenal along with the medium, so I can get a correct seal on both ears. You get a little thing of foams there if you like foams. And then even more ear tips. Wow, and a QC card in there. Even more ear tips in here. I believe the cable was probably in here as well. So no shortage of ear tips on the accessories, which I like, and they're good quality ear tips too. So let's put all this stuff back in, shall we? All right, see if I can put it back the way that I found it. I know, right? Okay, there's that, and we'll just keep the Zinn's cable in there for safekeeping for the moment. Box is high quality, very nice. Like the unboxing experience. The set is anywhere from, I think I've seen it at $178 on Ali all the way up to like $240 on Amazon, which sort of puts it in that $200 range. I don't think anybody's ever going to pay $240 for it because when it goes on sale it's under $200. But let's just call it, for the sake of argument, about a $200 set. In that respect, nice unboxing. Nice accessories, no complaints whatsoever. And of course I forgot to put that back in. Do that later. Okay, here's your case. PU leather, pretty sure. You get a cleaning brush, you get this lovely cable, and the earphones. So the cable I will do next, which is very, very nice. Silver plated monocrystalline copper is what you get. And as I mentioned, 2.5, 3.5, or 4.4, and we have the 4.4 with these guys. Little to no memory, not tangly, high quality, feels premium, fits extremely well. There was no issue with this coming loose at any point in time. So yeah, I'll give the cable an A. It should be a nice cable at this price range. They did not screw that up. They definitely put a nice cable on it. And the build of the IEMs themselves is quite nice. It is sort of a polished, textured sort of look to it. You know, it's smooth. It just looks like it's got, you know, some texture to it. Texture is a word that we will be discussing today for sure. Semi-open back, right? You got venting there, so obviously no issues like I had with the Butterfly 61T. Yeah, no pressure buildup, no issues whatsoever with that. And fairly sturdy. These did knock together a bit, but they have left no signs of scratch or dent or damage or anything, so they're fairly sturdy. And even though they are metal shelled, they're not super heavy, which is nice. And they are very oops, they are very comfortable to wear for extended periods of time, which is also very nice. So yeah, build, fit, comfort. Again, you know, we're talking 200 plus. Look at those magnets too. Check that out. Wow. Talking 200 plus, so you know they live up to the price point, I believe, very well. Let's talk about sound. Let's talk about sound, because honestly, if you guys saw, if you didn't, I'll bring it up on the screen here, and hopefully everybody could see it all right. If you saw what I posted in the community, I posted the frequency response graph that I took earlier today of them, which is now in front of you, I hope. This does not look like a set that yours truly would enjoy as much as, say, other sets, right? it looks to be neutral bright. Okay, like it doesn't look like it has a lot of bass. It does have nice mid presence, and it definitely has a very well done extended treble. So, you know, I'm a bass head sometimes, most of the time. But when I get a set like this, it's very important to me to just take it for what it is. And this is not a bass head set, right? But, and coming right off of the new Adonis, you know, which was up here like in the low 90s at the starting point for sub bass and mid bass, like you'd think that I would be like, no, this is no. But I didn't do that. And I think probably why I didn't do that was just because of how well balanced it is, how beautiful and sweet the treble is, and I think the bone conduction kind of saved the day for me. Because here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed in testing the bone conduction and PZT sets that I have. They have texture. So even if they're not like tuned to be like a bass monster or even like, you know, bassy, you know, like middle of the road bass, there's something that is just very resonant about the bass on this set, and something that is just very satisfying. Who was it that was asking me about fast bass? Was it Valerie Fire, maybe? I think. If it wasn't, I apologize. Somebody recently was asking me about a set that has fast bass. They want fast bass. They don't want big bass. They don't want bass bleed. They don't want bass like, you know, like that. They want fast, precise bass. Boom, there you go. So something like this set would be right up your alley. I don't think it was in your price range, unfortunately, but if I come across more sets like this, I will make a mental note to let you know, because I like to do that. At some point, I'm probably going to have to like get a Discord chat going or something where it's easier for me to keep track of, because, you know, with comments on YouTube and it just like things, it's easy to get lost. You know, it's just easy to like 2 months later, I'm like, oh my God, I never responded to that. And I hate that, because I want you guys to know, obviously, that I care, and that if you have questions, I want to respond to them. So I think I've got to find a better way to do that. Short story long, these have fast bass. Fast, precise, still impactful, still like, it's a weird combination of resonance and speed. So you feel it, but it's fast. It's fast and precise, and the decay is pretty quick from the impact, but you still feel it. I don't really know how else to describe it, except maybe shaking my head like that. Of course, you know, the GoPro probably auto-fixed that. Yeah, it's just a very interesting experience with the bone conduction. I think that's what I'm experiencing. And even with it, you know, the PZT sets, they have a different sort of texture to them. But in particular, the bone conduction drivers, definitely. Because when I was doing the Plutus Beast and this, like, back and forth, I was like, yeah, they've got DNA. They've got something in common. It's funny because the Plutus Beast has, I think it's a BA and a planar that sort of round that out. And then this one has the DD. Yeah, the bass on this is definitely more DD-like. But the bass on the Plutus Beast is bigger and heavier. Go figure that one out. It's got to be the BCD. It has to be. I don't know any other way. Let's bring it up, actually. Let's see. I did that one right after this. So yeah, look at that. I mean, that's nuts. It's also nuts that they're very similarly tuned until you get to the treble, and that's when the wind kind of takes over, because it has more extension and doesn't drop off a cliff at 12K like the Plutus Beast does. But if you look just following the curves, yes, the Plutus Beast is more sensitive, obviously. You can see that's quite a difference. But if you follow it, they are like they're like siblings. They're like brother and sister, you know. Until you get to the mid to upper treble, they're like very, very close. Just really interesting. Yeah, it was eye opening. This was an eye opening. Like, this has been an eye opening several days of testing the BCDs and the PZTs together, you know. And I'm really like looking forward to the DMA, which is going to be coming up next, and probably as soon as I have this video like up and posted and ready to go, I'm probably going to start listening to them. But anyway, that's for later this week. For now, I really enjoyed these a lot more, and this is why I really feel like it's important to listen first before jumping into the graphs, because I never would have expected this sort of low of a bass. Now granted, the whole set is a little less sensitive than a lot of sets I've been doing lately, so yeah, it does require more volume, more power to really come alive and perform, but not a ton, you know. It's not like a ridiculous amount of power or volume to sound really good, just more than usual, right? Like, I'm up here at 11 o'clock on the iFi, and I was about 44 on the FIO, and I was right around 44 on the TA22 as well. God, these sounded good with the TA22, and I hate to say that because it's just like, well, dude, it's $500. Yeah, well, it is, and it was my stupid, you know, purchase. So, but I use it, you know, because obviously I'm gonna use it if I spent that much freaking money on it. Some sets it gets along really well with. The Wind, it did. The Wind and the TA22, yummy, like really nice combination. On the test tracks, so I don't take all 25 minutes and 38 seconds to do this review, the test tracks, it did not show a weakness, and that is including hip hop and R&B, and including metal, which you would think, based on this graph, that it would maybe be a little too bright for metal and not enough bass for hip hop. No problem, man. No problem, guys. Nothing. It just cruised through the test tracks. And let's see, I did Sundowning from Sleep Token, and I did Fear Inoculum from Tool. Those were the two albums I listened to nonstop. I actually mowed with these in on my rider, the backyard, which is like, you know, kind of like scary because it's really sloped and stuff. But anyway, I had Tool cranking on these earlier today, listening to Fear Inoculum. It takes just about the entire album to mow my yard, even on a rider, because it's a pain in the you-know-what. So they performed great. Sound isolation was rough. Like, when I started the mower up and I'm in this like little shed, I was like, this is not going to work. But once I got out of that enclosed area and turned them up a little bit, they were fine, and I just had a blast, like, cruising up and down the hill and back and forth listening to Tool on these. It was just, yeah, they're really good. They're really good, really well tuned, really good drivers, really neat resonance from the BCD. So yeah, I you know, highly recommended. Yeah, I think you gotta want them. You know, I think you gotta want to spend that. You gotta want to spend that money for something different. It is really, really good, and I think it's 100% worth it. But I could see maybe like preferring something else. You know, preferring like the new Adonis, or preferring the Butterfly, or preferring, you know, there's so many sets out in this price range right now. It's so competitive. It's like crazy. Like, last year was the $100 set. This year's like the $200 set. There's a lot of competition. I think you really have to want them to get them. You'll have to want something different. kind of like the Anunnaki, right? You gotta want something different, a different experience to go for that set. Of course, that's 120, not 220. So anyway, I love them. I think they're great. Am I gonna buy them myself? Probably not, just because I have so many sets in this price range right now already. It seems it's not redundant though. Hey, maybe BQEYZ will send me them. I don't know. Can always pitch it, even though I've already done the review. My problem, not yours. Yeah, I love this set. I think they're great. I really do. They're not my favorite. They are different. They're not the bassiest, but they still do well in that respect. The treble on these is the star. So sweet, so extended, so smooth. Just really awesome. So that's where we're going to leave it. BCD 1 down. BCD 2 being the BGVPDMA will be coming up either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'm going to do a little wrap-up video on Thursday of just my overall experience with the PZTs and the BCDs together as a whole, and we'll do that. That'll be fun. Anyway, that's it for today. You guys know it. Be careful, be safe, be nice. I love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. And we'll see you.